The fire safety logbook seems like a pretty ordinary thing to have, but it's a very important piece of kit, and it's dead simple. It's just a book. But unlike many, ours is very good. Now, let me give you a quick summary of the fire regulations. In effect, if you are a premises that has anything other than one single family living in it, and that family owns the premises, then you are covered by the modern fire regulations. They're called the Regulatory Reform brackets Fire Safety close brackets order, and in effect everyone is covered by the fire regulations. So you need to keep records. As well as having a fire risk assessment, you need to be able to prove that you've been doing things. The fire safety logbook is your friend. This is where you keep all your records. If you're ever inspected by a fire officer, or you have an insurance claim or building inspector, anything like this, this is where you say, look what we've been doing. So on the front, you're going to have general information, your company name, etc., and useful phone numbers. And inside, it has a full list of 44 pages, everything you need. Now, something that's not entirely clear with the regulations, because as with many laws, you don't get told and you don't find out until it's too late. But the person, if for instance you are a manager of property and the owner lives abroad, you are legally responsible because you are managing the property. So there is a responsible person, and that responsible person is legally responsible. And legally responsible in the fire regulations can mean up to 2 years in prison. Now, you're not going to go to prison for not filling in one of these, but there are hefty fines. So you need to know what you need to check. So there are fire alarm tests that need to be done daily or weekly, or checks. There are, for instance, the weekly test, you do an in-house test, and then perhaps 6 monthly, perhaps quarterly, you have them tested by a competent engineer, a properly qualified one. Fire extinguishers. Yes, fire extinguishers must be checked annually, and they must be checked by a competent engineer. No, you shouldn't be doing that yourself. However, there is a weekly visual test. This here would give, let me get to the fire extinguisher page. So here you can record all the locations and the types of fire extinguishers so that you know where they are. That only has to be done once. You can record the next test due. Of course, there's pages and pages, so it keeps on going. And then a record of tests and inspections. So, for instance, action taken and the signature. So if something needed to be replaced. Fire extinguishers weekly check. Here is where you prove that someone walked around with a clipboard and checked that they're all in the right position and that they all look okay. Then you've got signage and fire alarm zonal plans. You've got emergency lighting. There are sprinklers. You may not have sprinklers, you don't have to use it, but if you have, it's got it all here. You have, what else have they got? Register of fire doors. A lot of fire doors don't work properly. Think of having them checked regularly once a year by a qualified company. Fire instruction and staff training records. If someone asks you, did they get trained? And you say, yes. This is the record that they did, because it's got the employee signature and a trainer signature. Fire evacuation drills. They're fun. Ever done one? Record it in here. Why not? Don't do it in the rain now, that's very unpopular. And other bits and pieces, electrical installation, alterations, modification. It's all here, all your weekly fire alarm tests. Simple, and just for a few quid. By the way, this needs to be on the premises at all times. This is what most people buy with them. This is just floppy canvas. It's simple. One screw, hang it up, open this at the top, drop that in, job done. Then no one can say, sorry Mr. Fire Officer, I don't know where it is, because saying I left it at home isn't like when you do your homework at school. Fire logbook, fire safety document holder. Great investment. For more details, as usual, just follow the links on the page.